Welcome everyone to the Shauna M. Sorrells Awards, the Open Doors to Giving program. Um, we'd like to thank all of you for joining us here with this program to give money and attention to nonprofits throughout the country. All right.
This is Shauna, and what we like to do every year is to start off by honoring Shauna and just share a few words about Shauna before we get into giving out the grant award this year. So, love to pass to you, Isaiah, to talk a little bit about your mom.
All right. So, like I said, Shauna was my mom. She was a kind person and fun, someone who was always, well, so fun to be around. And she was very caring, both about her family, like me and Liz's dad and all my brothers, or as well as people around her. So she dedicated her professional life to nonprofit work, to and helping others, be it working in HUD or working for nonprofits in Alexandria and DC. Things that were big to her were housing or cancer awareness and women's health. So we started this after she passed in 2019 to honor her and keep giving in her name.
Yeah. So Shauna was one of those folks who just had that magic package, and that word magic has meaning. She would always say, "Mommies are magic." She taught me that. So her magical package was that she was brilliant, funny, kind, dedicated her life to making a difference. Just one of the nicest people, funniest people you'll ever meet, who could also just like out intellectualize just about anyone. I mean, she's just brilliant and very passionate about housing. Always called herself a lifelong houser. And her friends at HUD all showed up for her memorial service. She made a significant impact there. And she knew that housing wasn't just about a place to sleep, it was about it being safe, affordable, health, education, like work, being able to work, all those things come together. And so she served on boards. She was a speaker throughout the country, a national speaker, just an amazing person with an amazing impact. And we were very lucky that we got to know her personally and just see how fun and goofy she was as well. So when she suddenly passed very unexpectedly, we wanted to do something to honor her and to keep her legacy going. And so we created this program to really focus on the smaller nonprofits and help them get off the ground, help them build their support, which is why we require, once we finalize those three, that folks vote online, because it forces those nonprofits to reach out to people to build their base to get more supporters engaged. So hopefully we've accomplished that. I know it could probably be a little bit frustrating trying to get people out there, but it really is a great way to get a lot of people involved and trying to make a difference. So that's our awesome Shauna. We just had this great quote from one of her friends, Kathy Hollowell Makel, who knew Shauna for many, many years. And just some of her words talk about how she was a humanitarian, looking for small and significant ways to make a difference. She was very focused on equitable opportunities for women of color and safe and affordable housing. Those are her sort of passionate efforts that she worked on. But she was just an amazing person, and we're so glad that we get to honor her through this program. So we're going to start with recognizing those who have won in the past, because they're all doing great things and they keep in touch with us. We appreciate the reports that we get on what folks are working on. So why don't you start?
All right. So in during 2020, for Grand Award finalists, we had Africa Matters and SciTech to You, African a STEM program that helps girls get into STEM, and Africa Matters was to help in issues over in Africa. And then for our finalists, for our winner, we had For Three Sisters, which was a breast cancer awareness organization.
In 2021, we had the Haven Home and Suited for Change. They were finalists. And then the grand prize winner was Seeds of Literacy.
For 2022, we had ICE Image Care and and CASA, and CASA, Summit Casa. Sorry. And for the finalists, we had Arch organization.
Accompanying returning citizens with hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then 2023, we had the Chase Lloyd House, and then we had Motherful as finalists. And then the actual grand prize winner was GI STEM.
And for 2024, we had Bloom Pregnant with Possibilities and Her Health. And for the finalists, we had New Life Furniture Bank. Now for 2025, with states from Tennessee to Pennsylvania to Illinois to Arizona, we had 142 submissions and 1,838 votes for the finalists. With all these organizations were working to improve lives through healthcare, education, housing, and many more ways. And these are just to look at some of the organizations we had here.
Yeah, we had an impressive turnout this year. A lot of different folks applied. So we wanted to just take the time to show you who they are, give you their websites in case any rings a bell for you. And here's the next list and makes you want to make a donation. And any small donation, $50, $20, it makes a difference. And so, we're coming up end of the year, people coming up on Thanksgiving, time to be thankful. So maybe something on here strikes you and you want to make a donation. That would be amazing. Here's even more on the list. And they do all kinds of things to make a difference. And I think this is the last list because it ends with Z, Zora's House. So many great organizations. Okay, so this year we wanted to give special recognition. We always like to do that to those who sort of just missed, which are Sienna House, the Friendly Inn Settlement, and Sanctuary Night. Our semifinalists are the Breast Care for Washington, the Islamic Leadership Institute, and the Well. And then the finalists, we had 3 finalists, and they are the Cancer Support Community Central Ohio, Groundwork Ohio, and Perinatal Equity Initiative. And have to say that it was really competitive. We had a ton of people obviously apply, but then even just narrowing it down was really hard. It was a lot of back and forth to try and finalize the list. But in the end, we had to pick 3 finalists that we were happy with any one of them winning. And in the end, it was really your votes that determined the final winner. So that's why it's really exciting to see that so many people voted this year. Just shy of 2,000 voted. So the grand prize winner is going to be announced by. Oh no, we have to have everyone talk first, right? Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So before we announce the winner, we did want to turn it over to each of those finalists to say a few words. So why don't we start with Cancer Support Community Central Ohio? Sorry.
It's okay. Thank you. Hi, my name is Erica Mathis. I'm the development manager for Cancer Support Community Central Ohio. At Cancer Support Community, we provide mental health and support services for those with cancer and their entire networks at no cost. We do this through our 5 pillars versus support. A program in that is our individual counseling. We have education, which is we do a lot of lunchtime learning opportunities. Lifestyle example of that is our cooking for wellness and nutrition classes where people can make a meal with a certified dietitian and certified chef on how to switch a lot of foods that they're used to eating to more cancer fighting friendly foods. We have social gatherings. An example of that is our annual Survivors Day. And then our last one, and what we wrote this grant for, is our care coordination, which is called our Empower program. This provides wraparound services for specifically the African American community, those living in poverty, and families. This just addresses the health disparities of those populations and the difficulties they have dealing with the medical system. We provide up to $2,000 in financial assistance for rent, utilities, any thing they might need for those that are 350% of the poverty line and below. In 2024, we were able to distribute over $67,000 And this is all made possible by our community health workers that are going into the houses, doing home visits, connecting them with local resources, just to keep people in treatment and to keep them above water when it seems like they might be alone and whatnot. So very thankful to be honored by the Shauna M. Sorrells grant, and thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Erica. Appreciate that. Groundwork Ohio.
Hi, everyone. I'm Caitlin Feldman. I'm the Senior Director of Policy with Groundwork Ohio. I really appreciate this opportunity to share more about our work, and I'll be brief, but we are the state's the leading early childhood research and advocacy organization, uniquely focused on the prenatal period through age 5 and their families. And so our work is really rooted in promoting programs and investments for kids and families that lay a strong foundation from the start. And our work is really rooted in this belief that it's never too early to invest in a child's success, but it can be too late. And so there's a lot of different ways that we do that, a lot of programs and ways that we engage folks all around the state. We do work with families to engage them in our advocacy, really support them and elevate their voice to our policymakers at the state house, but also locally with school boards and with local elected officials as well, because we know how important it is to have public policies that are responsive to families' needs, that are also driven directly by families who have young children specifically. We have 4 primary policy pillars that sort of guide our work, and that includes things like early learning and childcare access and affordability, healthcare access and quality, and early childhood trauma prevention, as well as economic stability, economic security for families. And all of these things, if we can make those investments and support those policies from the start that sort of cover those primary policy areas, we know that we'll be that much closer to achieving our vision that Ohio will be the best place to be a young child. It's really an honor to be considered, and thank you so much for your time. And I'll turn it back over to you, Liz and Isaiah.
Thanks, Caitlin.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
that. And then the Perinatal Equity Initiative.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is truly an honor to be selected as a finalist for this award. I am the founder and executive director of the Perinatal Health Equity Initiative. We are a community-based organization situated in New Jersey, and we consider ourselves to be a Black-led movement focused on redesigning healthcare for Black women, Black mamas, and Black communities. And that focus is specific to the Black maternal health crisis. And so by now, you've likely seen the very viral video of a young woman who was in labor, clearly visibly in labor, where her pain was ignored and she was not supported. That is the very work that our organization fights against, really talking about narrative change, talking about what it looks like to navigate birth as a Black woman, but also understanding that that is not what it should look like, and really redesigning that image for others so that we know that we can have healthy and safe birth outcomes through the use of things like midwives and doulas, nurses, safe support environments. And so our work that we wrote this proposal for was for our Mamas in Bloom program, which is a hybrid service that combines the care of a registered nurse and a community health to essentially walk a individual through their journey of pregnancy, postpartum. We are high touch during the postpartum period, as we know that is the time which women are most likely to die from a pregnancy complication is after birth. And there is a significant gap, typically between when someone leaves the hospital and when they actually see a provider. And so we provide those home visits and clinical oversight to make sure that families get the support that we need. We also provide a lot of breastfeeding support. So something that we view as a preventative medicine and healthcare behavior is not typically covered by all health insurances. And so we provide that service for free or low cost to many families who are looking to be able to navigate their breastfeeding journey. And then the other one I want to elevate, just because we've had 3 requests come in just today. We have a program called a Butterfly Fund, and the Butterfly Fund is for families that have had a loss. So either a loss that has happened in the immediate period of a mother after giving birth, or a stillbirth or an infant loss within the first year of life. And so we provide burial support, grief counseling, resources for families that are navigating very difficult times. And so while we are working to create the reality we'd like to see, we also recognize that that's not quite where we are, and there needs to be resources to support families as they are navigating through these very difficult challenges. So again, thank you. Truly honored to be here.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Nastasia. That's amazing. All 3 organizations are doing such important work. And now you can see why this was so hard to select among so many amazing organizations that are out there. So we just want to say you're all wonderful. You're all doing great things. And with that, I think now we can say the winner. The slide will progress there. There we go. All right, Isaiah.
All right.
Now it's all you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Now, between our 3 winners, we're very close this year. But the winner of the Shauna M. Sorrells Award for 2025 was Cancer Support Community from Central Ohio.
Yay.
So we'd like to congratulate all 3 of you, because all of you had really important work and really just great proposals for us. But and we believe that all of you are worthy of winning this award, no matter who wins.
Yes, absolutely. And Eric, I don't know if you want to say a few words. We can pass it back to you.
Yeah, just thank you so much for the opportunity. We are so honored and we're so excited. This is going to help strengthen our Empower program. So just thank you so much, guys.
Absolutely. And here's the surprise. You're all winners. So all of you are going to get some funding. So Erica and her team, they get the 10,000 grand prize, but each of you, Caitlin and Nastasia, you each will get $1,000 for your organization. So at least you have something. And we also like to honor our semifinalists and give each semifinalist $500 each. So it's something, it's not a lot, but at least it's something, because we really do value all that you're doing. Thank you again for everything you're doing to make a difference in the community and in the world. And then we'll just quickly close out with some great words by our very own Shauna. Make a difference in your community, her quote from 2016. And then, this life is all there is. Make the most of it. Give, get, be. Give more than you get what you need, and be happy. And that was our wonderful Shauna. So in January, we will have this webinar where we're going to give you tips on how to have the strongest possible application for the Shauna M. Sorrells Award, and tips on how to go after government funding. That is our expertise at G2G. And we like to help the small nonprofits figure out how to make the strongest possible grant submission, how to find the funding opportunities, how to go after the earmark process, both federal and state levels. So we give all kinds of tips for folks in January when we do this call. So I hope that you'll dial in. And I want to thank again all the applicants, all the organizations, all the supporters, all the volunteers, the board members, the donors. Like, literally everyone is part of investing to create the world we all want to live in. It's like so important that we all take that seriously and that we appreciate you. Thank you again to our 3 finalists, and congrats to all 3 of you, and to our grand prize winner. And with that, I think that we're wrapping up.
Yes, I'd just like to say thank you as well to everyone who applied and everyone who does work in any of these organizations, and anyone who just does what their best to help any of them as well.
We appreciate you. Thank you.